Now then, how do you feel about this? A minute on the lips, a lifetime on the hips, perhaps? Well, if you're anything like me, being able to eat sweet treats like this really changed as I got older, especially during menopause. But it took me a lot of research to find out why, and there are real reasons for that. Now, finally, I do have the answer, so let's get into it. So we know so much, don't we, about our hormones and how a natural decline in estrogen as we age can cause an avalanche of menopausal symptoms, from hot flushes, night sweats, brain fog, achy joints, tinnitus, sore gums, anxiety. Honestly, the list goes on. But did you know that lowering estrogen levels can also impact the way our bodies react to certain foods, especially when it comes to sweet treats? And a lot of this is down to how estrogen interacts with insulin. So a quick science lesson here. When we eat, our bodies break down food into their simplest forms. So for things like carbs, these get broken down into glucose, which is a simple sugar. Glucose is fuel for our brain, for our muscles and other tissues, and is essential for various processes in the body. So when our body notices glucose levels in our blood, aka blood sugar, increasing, our pancreas releases insulin to manage these levels and help transport the glucose into our cells so our body can use it for energy. And that is why we see fluctuations in our blood glucose throughout the day, especially after we've eaten. Anything that doesn't get used up can be stored as fat to use for later. Quick side note here, not all carbs are made equal either. Complex carbs, that's things like brown rice, oats and whole grains, get broken down far more slowly than simple carbs like table sugar, fizzy drinks, sweets, those sorts of things. So when we eat refined carbs or sugars, these are broken down much more quickly, and we experience a rapid blood sugar shift, which is often followed by a crash afterwards, leading to symptoms like low energy, hunger cravings, and mood swings. So that explains glucose and insulin. But where does the estrogen come in? Well, researchers think that estrogen actually impacts our insulin sensitivity and how well we process glucose. It essentially enhances how well our tissues take up glucose and helps us to maintain healthy blood sugar levels. So as our estrogen levels decline, our bodies become more insulin resistant, and this means that our bodies don't process glucose as well as they used to. Our glucose levels can take longer to return to normal after eating, leading to more frequent fluctuations. And then over time, if we don't change our eating habits, we might notice that we end up gaining weight, particularly around our midsection, as our body is storing more glucose as fat. Well, this was a real light bulb moment for me. It explains so much as to why, even though I was fairly consistent with my diet, my body was reacting to food in such a different way as I got older. So what can we do about it? Well, the good news is that we don't have to do away with sweet treats entirely. We just have to be a bit clever about how we enjoy them. So my first tip is to dress your carbs. The combination of carbohydrate, protein and fat in a meal dictates how quickly or slowly we see a rise in our blood glucose levels. If we're over-consuming carbs on an empty stomach, our blood glucose levels will rise more quickly. So pairing with protein, fat or fiber will slow this trajectory down. And then on a similar note, we need to consider the order of our food too. So saving a sweet treat for dessert rather than as a standalone snack can be better for us. If we already have protein and fat and fiber in our bodies after a balanced meal, the sugar from the sweet treat will enter our bloodstream gradually rather than all at once. And if you want to get really clever, consider using a biosensor to see how your body responds to certain foods. I actually discussed this in a recent podcast episode all about metabolic health and managing glucose levels in midlife with Dr. Amy Mackenzie. Amy is just such a genius on all of this. She's actually a metabolic health expert and the director of clinical and medical affairs at Abbott's Lingo business. This is the Lingo. Well, in the episode, we talk about the role that glucose plays in our body, how it can affect how we feel from day to day, plus how this might change as we age and go through menopause. Super interesting. We also cover how Lingo, a biosensor, and app can help us track and understand glucose levels in real time and share nutrition and lifestyle fundamentals that can help us create healthier habits. So I've been using the Lingo biosensor for a while now, and what I love is that the biosensor is linked to an app which then tracks when my glucose is spiking or crashing. And by observing our body's response to the food that we've eaten, we can make slight tweaks to our lifestyle to help keep glucose levels more stable. And if you are up for giving this a go, we actually have a discount with Lingo at the moment to save 10% off the Lingo Learn Plan with the code LizLoves, and I will pop all the details and a link to the episode below. Another thing we can do is to stay active. Regular movement is a simple but powerful tool for managing blood sugar because it helps the body use insulin more effectively, allowing glucose to fuel our cells, keeping our levels steady. And this works even for those days when we're short on time. Studies show that walking after a meal can reduce the glucose surge. And this is because our bodies are using the glucose as it enters our bloodstream. So if we're stressed, our body is too busy making cortisol to expend any energy into making estrogen. This in turn makes it even harder for our insulin to work efficiently. Estrogen helps to enhance it, remember. A vicious cycle, absolutely. So stress really isn't this badge of honour that we all wear. It's having such a negative impact on our health, and one that we really do need to take seriously. Go for a walk, do some breath work, pick up the phone, chat to a friend. Anything that helps us to feel calm really will have an amazing benefit. Well, that is all for today. Was this a surprise? Will it change things up for you in midlife? As ever, do let me know in the comments. Learning more about blood sugar really was a game changer for me, so I truly hope it has been helpful. And until the next time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips from me and my amazing wellbeing team. You can head to lizearlewellbeing.com. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you again here very soon. Go well.